Mr. Mayor, we're live.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I'd like to welcome everybody to good afternoon to everyone to the special council meeting of the shareholders to the Municipal Service Corporation. Before we read the land acknowledgement, please turn off your phones when in chamber. And when you come to the podium to speak, adjust the mic so you're speaking directly in the end of it, as this meeting is being recorded and live streamed for those at home. Excuse me. The Township of Oro-Medonte acknowledges that we are situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people and an ancestral territory of the Huron-Wendat. The Anishinaabe include the Odawa, the Ojibwe, Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. It continues today as the home for diverse Indigenous peoples, including the historic Métis community in Penetang-Washing. The Anishinaabe people continue to have an enduring relationship with this land, specifically the Chippewas of Rama First Nations, the Chippewa Tri-Council, and the Williams Treaties First Nations. The Huron-Wendat nations also continues to pay respect and protect their ancestors and heritage on this land. We honor the Indigenous history and culture that has thrived for millennia in the territory and the treaties that bind us together as partners in the spirit of a shared, sustainable, and prosperous future. We are all treaty people. Our commitment begins with acknowledging the truth so that we can move forward towards reconciliation. Miigwech. Madam Clerk, may we have a draft motion to approve the agenda, please?
Moved by Hutchison, seconded by Young. Be it resolved that the agenda for the special council meeting of Wednesday, June 25th, 2025 be received and adopted.
I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is carried. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest at this time? Seeing none, if you do find yourself in a situation of a conflict, please identify it at that time. Madam Clerk, may we have staff? Has staff received any registrations from the public to provide verbal comments on the agenda items today?
No, Mr. Mayor, we have not.
Okay. We're on item 5, reports of Municipal Service Corporation officers. Item 5A, MSC report is regarding Crackhurst wastewater rates. Mr. Kobe, would you like to provide a summary of comments, please?
Thank you, Mayor. So further to the details in the staff report and the financial plan, I just wanted to draw the shareholder to a few items for your consideration. First of all, the report is in recommendation for user fee rates for the new Crackhurst Crossing development, which is expected to include over 400 units by 2030. This development will be serviced by a brand new wastewater system and an expansion of the existing municipal Crackhurst drinking water system. The plan before you today in the report details the required capital investments for this infrastructure and anticipated forecasted operational costs over the next 10 years. The plan was developed by township staff collaboratively with the Georgian Development Engineering Team and by DFA Infrastructure, which is a professional consulting firm specializing in utility rates. I can confirm to the shareholder that the approach used in the preparation of this report and financial plan for the new Crackhurst wastewater system is in line with other reports we've done for municipal drinking water and municipal communal tile. It uses standard methods applied in all 3 situations, and the multi-year rate that we're recommending today considers asset renewal, system requirements operationally, and a financial analysis to ensure long-term stability of this service. Ms. Johnson is here today as well, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have regarding the rate or the principles involved in determining the rate.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jacoby. Council, is there any questions at this time for Ms. Jacoby? Councillor Schell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Greenwald, through you to Mr. Jacoby. I'm looking at the Township Oro-Medonte Crackhurst Crossing Wastewater System Financial Plan, but it's not identified that way in the intended bylaw. The Craighurst Crossings is not in there.
In Schedule L, sir?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
In Schedule L?
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this here, and I'm just curious as why we're talking about Craighurst Crossing wastewater financial plan, but in our bylaw we're talking about the Craighurst water system, wastewater system.
Craighurst Crossing is the name of the development. We've elected to say Craighurst wastewater system for clarity in users in that particular area. But Schedule L in the fees and charges bylaw, what we're proposing is called Schedule L Craighurst wastewater system.
Okay, further?
Yes, please, supplemental.
Yes, please. So are we assuming an existing system, or is it being built at this time?
This is all brand new, being built.
And who's developing it?
It's
Georgian
Georgian.
Communities.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Georgian Communities?
Okay. So we're putting a fee out and a charge out for a system that's not been completed yet. Is that correct?
New users are anticipated to occupy the site in September 2025. So we're establishing rates in advance of any type of occupancies.
Okay, and we're assuming then that there's not going to be any overrun in the construction of the sewage plant?
This capital costs related to the sewage plant are all
Yes.
borne by the developer. It's not.
Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to know.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's,
Thank you.
I believe that's, and I can get CO bins to, but I believe any wastewater plant, as a rule, is once everything's in the subdivision's fully developed out and it's up to municipal standards, then it's taken over by the municipality.
There is a maintenance period.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can also add that as soon as that plant is operational, we are the operator on record with the province. And then once assumption of that facility happens, likely in 2030, as CIO Bin said, after the maintenance period, I would suspect we'll look at the rate again, but we are the operator as soon as that plant is operational.
And just, I guess, Mr. Kobe, is a 5-year maintenance, is that the common time period for?
This one is particular based on build out and phasing.
Okay.
So to get into a little more detail, the wastewater treatment plant is a treatment train. There's 3 trains that are proposed. They're each being developed at different times, depending on number of connections. And as each of those come online and we become the operator, they have a different maintenance period.
Okay, no, I appreciate that extra information. Thank you very much. And Councillor Shell, do you have any further questions?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions at this time? Seeing none, may we have the draft motion, Madam Clerk?
Moved by Clark, seconded by Shell. Be it resolved that MCS 2025-02, Michelle Jacoby, Interim Chief Executive Officer, Craighurst Wastewater Rate, Craighurst Crossing Wastewater System Financial Plan be received and adopted. That the Craighurst Crossing Wastewater System Financial Plan dated June 4th, 2025, prepared by DFA Infrastructure International Inc. be received and endorsed. That Craighurst wastewater user rates for 2025 to 2030, as identified in MSC 2025-02, be endorsed. That the shareholder recommends that Council amend Township Fees and Charges Bylaw 2024-094 to include Schedule L, which identifies a 5-year Craighurst wastewater rate. That the appropriate draft bylaw be brought forward for Council's consideration.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Are there any questions regarding the draft motion? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that is passed. We're now at item 6A for draft bylaw referenced in the report. Are there any questions or comments by members of council at this time? Seeing none, may we have a draft motion for the bylaw, Madam? Oh, sorry,
Moved by Lavoie.
my apologies, Madam Clerk. Councillor Young? The bylaws? 6A, it's 6A is what we're dealing with right now.
Could we have the councillor speak into
Into
this
the
microphone,
mic.
please, for the public?
Just proceed, I might have whack here.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Madam Clerk, if we could have the draft bylaw, please.
Moved by Lavoie, seconded by Bard. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-54, bylaw to amend bylaw 2024-134, a bylaw of the Corporation of the Township of Oro-Medonte to provide for the imposition of fees and charges. Be passed in open council the 25th day of June, 2025.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. May we have a motion for the confirmation bylaw, Madam Clerk?
Moved by Shell, seconded by Clark. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-55, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the special council meeting held on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, be passed in open council the 25th day of June, 2025.
Thank you very much. I'll call the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. And may we have a motion to adjourn, please?
Moved by Bard, seconded by Hutchison, and be it resolved that we do now adjourn at 2:44 p.m.
All in favor? That is carried. I want to take a chance. Thank you very much, Mr. Kobe, for making yourself available to answer questions in regard to this. And we'll see everybody in 15 minutes at the